I say, a little achy.
Something going on with my pelvic floor. Hips. First time playing in 3.5 years, you know. Forgot how old I am.
Yes, it's the kind of thing's not going to get any better. JJ, what do you feel like you were able to accomplish these last, not 2 weeks, but these last couple of weeks with some additional practices and shoot rounds, and where do you feel like you were able to focus the most?
Getting some rest for our guys was big. Offensively, cleaning up some stuff, getting a couple plays that we've had as ATOs into just our regular programming, and defensively, just continuing to build. You know, we're 11th in the NBA in defense over the last 9, and I think first in the last 3 games. So like that's trending in the right direction, and just continuing to clean up some stuff offensively. But I feel like last week and this week we got a lot accomplished.
Memphis and Sacramento obviously play a lot differently, but with Max in the starting lineup, are there any similarities as to the strength of his perimeter on-ball defense that can be deployed on Fox in a relative way to what he did against Ja?
There's going to be more dribble handoffs, more pick and rolls. Memphis is sort of an outlier just in terms of not running a lot of set actions. So this team tonight is going to play through Sabonis, and in the half court, that means a lot of angle pick and rolls. That means a lot of DHOs. So a lot more coverage tonight with Max on Fox, and then of course just with both him and Monk, both those guys just being one-man fast breaks. They don't get a ton of transition opportunities, but when the two of those guys do, they're really good.
Dan?
We talked to LeBron today. He's going to set the minutes record at some point, provided you play him 10 minutes.
How many does he need?
I think he needs 10. I think we'll probably get
we'll
there.
Get him that.
Yeah. Obviously there's been so much always made about his physical routine and how much time and money he's invested into his body. But just being around him, like, what have you seen like the way he thinks it, the way maybe he minds the game, or some version of that?
Well, to play this long for anybody, you have to have a deeply rooted love of the game, because throughout the course of your NBA career, you're going to have success, you're going to have failure, you're going to have highs, you're going to have lows, you're going to make a lot of money, you're going to have adoration, and I don't think you can survive, and not only survive but thrive for a long time in the NBA, unless at its core, the reason you wake up every day is because you love basketball and you love competing. And I think that holds true for LeBron, and that's where it's where he's really minded the game. Is just his love and respect for the game.
Okay.
JJ, through about a third of the season coaching him for the first time, what ways have you found are the most effective at getting the best out of him as his coach?
I think there's always the challenge of coaching the individual and coaching the group, and that's true for every player, and how they sort of operate within the ecosystem of the group. I think with him, what we've kind of looked at and we're kind of trending towards is the same amount of minutes, but shorter stints. Not really trying to go over 5 minutes, I think, going forward with him. So looking to play him in shorter bursts where he has more pop. And the numbers, I think back that up.
Jovan?
JJ, the last few days there's been a lot of talk about NBA ratings and just the state of the league, the three-point line, and different solutions or fixes to some of the perceived problems. As someone who's been a player on the media side and now on the coaching side, what's your take on all of that?
Was hoping I wouldn't have to provide takes anymore.
Get really hot. Really hot takes.
I'll try to be brief here. I said the other night, I don't think the league is as homogenized as a lot of people make it out to be. There are certain rosters and certain players that, because of their skill set, it makes sense to shoot a lot of threes. What I think gets lost a little bit in the amount of three-point attempts is what has been taken away, which is a steady decline in long twos. I checked this last year, so don't quote me on this, but what has increased along with three-point volume is points in the paint. So the three has allowed more space for people to actually score at the rim and score in the paint. So that's the strategy. In terms of the ratings, there's a lot of probably whys. I would speculate some of it is streaming. Some of it is the fact that in my own household, we have YouTube TV and that we don't have Spectrum right now. We have Spectrum Wi-Fi, but not Spectrum cable. And my family can't watch Lakers games that aren't nationally televised. I do have a free account from Spectrum. I'm just too lazy to set it up. We're clear on that. Spectrum has been very good to me.
You probably send somebody out there.
Yeah, but my point to that is, in my own household, I have 9 or 10 subscriptions. I lose my password to all of these. I think with the death of cable, people unplugging and then relying on streaming networks, I think it's not easy to watch an NBA game, to find an NBA game. I think that's part of it. Maybe that's a small percentage of it, but that's certainly a factor in all of this. And I've told Adam this, so I'll say this again. I don't think we as, and by we, I was part of it, we as the sort of national partners have done a good job of storytelling, of celebrating the game. If I'm a casual fan and you tell me every time I turn on the television that the product sucks, well, I'm not going to watch the product. And that's really what has happened over the last 10 to 15 years. I don't know why. It's not funny to me. Nothing is entertaining to me. This game should be celebrated. I've watched the league evolve. I'm in this league right now. I can tell you without fact, or with fact, that the league is more talented, and not just raw talent. The league is more talented and skilled than it was 18 years ago when I was drafted. That's a fact. There are more players that are excellent. There are more teams that are excellent. I heard when I played for, 4 or 5 years, well, why do we even play the regular season? We know who's going to be in the finals. Well, guess what? We have parity now. And we're not celebrating parity. We're not celebrating the fact that the Western Conference is as loaded as it is. We're playing a Sacramento team tonight that's incredible, with incredible talent, and they've got a losing record. It's not because they're a bad basketball team. I don't know. We don't have anybody that's willing to step up to the fact that this is an awesome game and we should talk about it and celebrate it in a positive way. That doesn't mean we don't critique it. We should critique it, but we should celebrate it. And nobody's doing that. And the people that are have a small niche following on Twitter. And frankly, I would argue as well that everyone in our ecosystem pays too much attention to what is said on Twitter. And part of this whole ratings discussion is because people on Twitter are talking about it.
Kobe, last 2 years.
Sorry to be brief.
Major point.
JJ, coming to the season, you guys had an emphasis on your crash rate offensively. The first month, I think you guys were middle of the pack, offensive rebounding percentage. Over the last month, you're second to last. How much have you guys looked at that? I guess, where does that sit with you?
Yeah, I think figuring out which guys can do it consistently and get back. I think we're still emphasizing it with certain guys. We're still emphasizing on certain shots. 3 goes up, you're in the corner. We want you crashing. There's a couple guys on the team that don't, and they get back instead, and that's also fine. As long as we're improving on the limbo rate, then I'm okay with it. I think you have to play to the strengths of your personnel, and sometimes you have to play to the weaknesses of your personnel. And I think I'm okay with where we're at crashing in terms of our team. There's a few guys that I would like to be a little more consistent, but that's probably not this group with banshees running around and flying around, and that's just not our group.
Last question, the gentleman in the front.
Thank you. Coach, just wanted to get your thoughts about Dalton Connect. I mean, it's incredible, fortunate that, he fell to y'all in the draft and stuff, but then he's doing some incredible things. So at this stage in the season, what are you seeing that he's getting better at and things that he can work on? Thank
you. The pattern recognition is steadily improving on the defensive end. I think he's in the middle of a shooting slump right now, and I think that's probably affected his overall spirit to compete. When he kind of lets go of that and just plays, we've seen it happen. The shots come, they go in. I think he's a better defensive rebounder than I think we realize. He does he's improving at sort of gang rebounding, which is just the awareness of, cracking back on a 5-man that maybe has a smaller defender on him. But he's collecting a lot of defensive rebounds right now. I think for him, going through his rookie season and it being new and it being a lot of games, more games than he's ever played, there's going to be some ups and downs throughout this year, but we have ultimate belief in him, and I think our assistant Bo Levesque, who's his PD coach, has done a great job. Dalton has a real desire to just get better and be coached and watch film and do all those things. He's got a bright future.
Thanks.
Yep.